All right. HSH Corporate, employee number 36. We're happy to report that we're most pleased with your labors and are currently making all the necessary preparations for your impending dissension, assuming you pass the trial. The soil is fertile. Keep up the great work, and thanks for working through the weekend. This is, This is very big, like, thief, pagan vibes. Daily Coupon Glamourstone. Coupon. Glamourstone. Today's daily coupon is for the Glamour Stone. Whether you're simply too tired to concentrate or just want to look your best without stress, the Glamour Stones are here to put you at ease. With their patented protective seal, our Glamour Stones have a 99.9% reliability rating. Something else says the logo is kind of Celtic now that you look at it. Yeah. Oh, big hole. There's a big hole here now. I didn't even notice before. What's the entry browser? Oh, we can just click at this and look at them. Is this the Spriggan? Neat. Okay, Is there anything else? Nope. Colonel says your internet's so slow. Yeah, it's hard to be alive in 1996. Why is it all vignetted? That's weird. Why is it vignetted? I don't get it. Is the vignetting growing? Thy trial hath begun. Is it getting darker? What? I mean, this is cool. Colonel says maybe it's a dream. Okay. What? Caller unknown. We are many, we are above. We are followers of our queen. What are we? Am I being quizzed by the druids? What is going on? Colonel says bees. Bees are a choice I can make. See? Bees. It's vignetted. Ah! Okay. Showcase thy knowledge. This thing pulled the Trixie Man thing on me at the last second. This is actually cooler than I expected. I am not living, yet I clatter. I am small, I am weak. I serve my purpose, then I die. What am I? This is an animation, right? Serve my purpose.
Please hold.
I forget, I can't actually look them up. All right, animation. What is happening? Forge ahead? I was hoping we'd get more entries, damn it. I like this music though. I am the beggar. I am the encroacher of the dry. I am a friend to the water of the sky. What am I? Rain nymph? Right? Water of the sky being rain. What is happening? I am the harbinger of death. I am the bringer of pestilence. I am forever the nuisance. What am I? This is mad Silent Hill 2 music vibes. This is good. Colonel says Bobby Kotick. That's giving him a lot of credit. This music fucking slaps. Rude says, is it a mouse, maybe? Yeah, I'm thinking mouse or rat.
Please hold.
The mice were referenced as the mice were referenced as the as the Earth's like oldest friends with the Black Plague. So that would be pestilence. The thing is the I am the harbinger of death was, I think this is talking about flies. See, and that would tie with pestilence and folklore and nuisance, right? Because it said that the only entry that references death is the one of or rather the only one that specifically calls out like you'll have thoughts of death is the flies, and that never came up. So if you have that be harbinger of death, bringer of pestilence, I don't know about pestilence, forever the nuisance. It's either flies or mice. Mice were only referenced in the context of pestilence. Flies are a nuisance and a harbinger of death. Am I just talking shit? I'm really worried that I'm overthinking this now. Hold on. What do we think? Because like the way that... Oh shit, man. Alejandro also says flies are also a sign of pestilence. I guess they are. The reason why I ask is just because... So the way that we've done this so far is... It really just has to be the ones that have like it will have cross-hatched answers where it's like, okay, this has like one aspect of one of them but two aspects of another, so it has to be the one that it has the two aspects from. Is that what we think? So is it... Colonel says no, mice are friends. It does say that mice are friends. They did say that. So maybe... Fuck, I just talked myself into it being housefly. Yeah, we're gonna say mice are friends and flies are not friends. Raph says, I think flies. Okay. I feel like I've just convinced us all of the wrong answer, but then again, being wrong hasn't mattered in the past. Raph says, I think flies because of Beelzebub. So the thing with this is... outside folklore has not actually been useful because I got one thing wrong based on outside information that wasn't called out in the entries in the past. Because I thought the thing about coffee grounds and small, like, black... Like, the thing that they mentioned about bed bugs, and this is just a common thing with bed bugs, is that around your, like, bedposts and stuff, you'll see little brown and black scattering. And so I assumed the coffee grounds were that, but it was actually probably... something else, and I don't know what it was. So, because we got one of them wrong, and I'm pretty sure that was the one I got wrong because he was the one that called. So, yeah. So the thing is we need to go by what's in the entries rather than anything else. Harbinger of death. I'm gonna say housefly. If we get it wrong, it's whatever. But at the same time, being wrong in the past hasn't been an issue. So, rejoice. I'm going down. I'm being downed. Booster Echo says, can't focus on this fighting Lakshmi. What are you talking about? Are you playing Final Fantasy or something? Lakshmi's a boss in that game, right? Final Fantasy 14? Okay. I seek the domains of those who have too much. Step within and they lose their way. Something else says closet labyrinth. That's exactly what I was thinking, because the lose their way, the labyrinth.
Please hold.
And I guess have too much is like also the wealthy. Yeah, it's a maze full of treasures, allegedly. Have too much. Yep. Okay. Closet labyrinth. We'll do that one. Ah! It just makes you wait. Just makes you wait, and you have to sit with it. We are companions of the gardens. We compel those who tread to tread no longer. What are we? My thought... Okay. This could be 3 things. It could be Spriggan. But Spriggans don't call out gardens specifically. The entries about Spriggans talk about not eating fruit and not killing trees and not hunting on property. The 2 entries that mention gardens specifically are False Beat and the seedlings that don't want you to pick from the gardens. So if we're going by the logic that the entries have to refer, like the text has to refer to something in the entries, then I don't think the answer to this is Spriggan. Because the Spriggans are not found in gardens, they're found in trees. We compel those who tread to tread no longer isn't right for False Beat, because the False Beats want to be picked, which leaves seedlings. Because the seedlings defend the garden, and you were told to keep your distance and overwater them to kill them, because they eat the weeds in the garden and get mad at you if you try to pick stuff from the garden. I think this is seedlings. Let go thy stilted soul. I am the dancer. I am the bringer of destruction. I consume the weak. He's got a star-nosed mole face. There's furries in this game, confirmed. Consume the weak and the reckless. I am the forsaken oil and the careless light. What am I? Fire?
Please hold.
Is it fire? Hold. Yeah, I think it's fire. Oil and flame. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. House fires. Camille says, I don't remember a fire entry. There was a house fire entry. Info successfully sent. Good job. Descend. This is making my heart beat fast in like a really weird, uncomfortable way. Oh, okay. I am the seeker. I am the one who delivers. What am I? Dorcha. This one's hard to forget because it's so cool sounding. And I read the entry like 4 times. All right, what's the next one? The one I'm most nervous about is Housefly. The one I answered for Housefly. So I'm waiting to see if we get a call back about it. Oh no. Oh my god, look at her eyes.
Supervisor Carroll here. We've been watching you closely. For all this time, you have been providing excellent and accurate answers to our callers. These acts will not go unrewarded, and I'm pleased to report that you have qualified for a promotion. Please stand by while I prepare thy promotion.
Rude, my dude says no, she has the Miley Cyrus eyes. What does that mean? What are you talking about? What does that mean? She looks like she's wearing a glamour stone. She's a fae. She's like Veronica or Victoria from Thief. So I really like the pagan witchcraft fae aesthetic of this game. That is actually the strongest point of the game, the coolest thing about it. I wish they leaned harder into it and like made it a little bit more subtle and gave it a much longer lead up. This is cool though. I want her to make the Trixie Lord kill me. Like that would be cool. Okay, so we got a promotion. What does that mean? She is. She Veronica'd. Or Victoria'd. It's weird that this is the second game that we've played in a week that ends with people standing in a forest. Live action footage.
Be not afraid. Come close.
This is very Thief 2 with her echoing voice. She's got a nice smile.
Congratulations. All hail our new junior supervisor.
What is happening? All right. This is wild. I take everything back that I said about the goofy stuff about this game. That ending made it 100% worth it. Something else said, so I think the Celtic stuff was intentional all along. I think it was too. Horrible Goat Demon says, you should look up the bad ending. There are multiple endings to this game? What? Okay. Do you have to just like suck hard at the game to get the bad ending? Or something? Blue Star Echo says OST's on Steam, $5. I'll pick it up. Someone posted it in the Discord, so interesting. Okay. My thoughts on this game. Probably a little bit too easy. Sorry, let me clarify. Horrible Good Demon said you should look up the bad ending. Does that mean I got the good ending? How do you get the good ending? Time Frame says, what is OST? Original soundtrack. The score for the game. Huh. So I guess I got the good ending. So my thoughts about this game. So everything I said earlier about the game, like jumping the shark. Horrible Good Demon says you get a good score by giving the accurate answers. Okay, so there was a penalty to sucking. We just didn't suck too bad, even though I failed a few of the days or whatever. I only got like 3 of the coupons, even though I got a bunch of the answers right most of the time. I guess that's fine. I wonder what the actual like over under is on that, because I feel like you'd have to try really hard, because this game was too easy, like way too easy. We were getting through most of the questions really quickly, so like it's also really quick. This was a really short game. I don't know. That's interesting. This took about 3 hours to finish. I guess that's a fun size. It is a small team. So let's get the good out of the way first. I like the aesthetic. I like the cultural choices. I like the ending a lot. That was very wacky and cool. And I like that it committed to the bit and was goofy and weird. That was fun. The music's incredible. Music is the best part of the game, probably. Things I wish this game did. I wish this game did not immediately jump into the deep end with all the crazy stuff. I wish that you had to work for like a week and a half before things started getting odd. I think that this game could work if there was more stuff going on, like reading employee emails, answering employee messages, not just using the phone call. I understand that this team is probably really small. It seemed like they were pretty small in the credits. It seemed like the voice actors were really just like random people, which is fine. I think the issue that this game's pacing runs into is that you literally on day 2 or like even day 1, we were like, okay, what the heck? Like there's already weird stuff going on. There's absolutely no pretense. And I know that the game sells itself as an analog horror inspired game on the Steam page. So like, of course you go into it knowing what it is, but I still think that you could set up more and do more to make it like an atmospheric, more moody, like fully featured atmosphere. I don't know. Like I really feel like the game does itself a disservice by immediately dropping a bunch of cryptids on you and then being like, oh, by the way, be careful about the stair slug. But then like half of the entries you never need to actually pay attention to. And the calls are immediately insane. Like I knew from the moment 1 that there were those weird imposter creatures that were doing the phone calls, right? Like that was hard to reframe your understanding of the game and like let that slow horror creep in on you, because as something else said, like the phone calls were really distressing when they became really distressing, but only like 3 of them were particularly violent. And even in those cases, they were just 10, like they were 11 out of 10 immediately. There were no ongoing caller complaints. Like there were a few people that were like, hey, I called last week, but I don't think they actually were on the call list. Like, I don't think I got a call from one being like, hey, everything's being clean. And then the next week it's the same guy going like, hey, I didn't listen, and now there's a demon in my house. Like, I don't remember it being all 3 times, because there was seemingly a progression happening to some of the callers, but it wasn't communicated well to me, at least. I don't think it was the same person. It seemed like the photos were maybe different. So maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I had that wrong. My memory is bad when you're just going through. My eyes glaze over. I felt like I was at work. And that's cool. But it just, if the pretense is that we're gonna have like a weird analog horror experience, analog horror works so well because it leans into the horror of the mundane, which is inherently scary. Like, analog horror isn't spooky because it's a demon talking to you through a VHS tape. Analog horror is spooky because the people who make it and the people who consume it find the inherent low quality of a VHS scary. Like if you could make an analog horror thing that never shows a monster and never has any outright horror in it, and the reason why that idea in this genre exists in the first place is because people were like, yeah, I don't know, I was home alone one night and I put a VHS tape in and I forgot to rewind it, and it started halfway through the movie and the tape was all chewed up, so there was a bunch of static and the voices sounded weird, and that was scary to me. There's nothing inherently demonic about that or like inherently threatening. It's just the uncanny valley of being in an analog medium, out of time and out of place, that makes something uncomfortable, right? Like, that's where the heart of analog horror is. Then you pile on top of that all of the surrealism of like a Local 58. Like, this is a news broadcast that is kind of weird. Like, the horror of Local 58 isn't just that the moon is out and is going to make you turn into a mindless zombie or something. It's that late night jazz music playing over an emergency broadcast is just spooky and weird. And that enhances the horror that you then add to it. So it's just like, it is just ultimately so in your face immediately that it loses the horror of it at all. And Horrible Goat Demon says, I think this is more going for goofy than scary. It's absurd being made mundane by your job. I do think that is ultimately what it's going for, especially with that ending. But I think with that, you need to tie in more mundanity. That's my problem, is that you have no mooring from the start. It is what it is. If you open back to the monitor, you should have access to a making of document from the dev. That's cool. I'll look at it. Let's see. Art book. Oh, cool. Nick Lives, a creator of Home Safety Hotline. If you're reading this, it means you've invested enough in this game to be curious about development. Blah, blah. Peek through the game's art, development process. 10 or 12 years old. Grandmother gifted me Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual. Yeah, that's not too surprising. Since developing games, I've very much wanted to make a game about the pure joy experience flipping through a bestiary. That's cool. I get that experience. I do not know if I really felt like that's what this was, but first attempt at creating a game based around my love for bestiaries was a game titled Bestiary, a fantasy game in which you play as a researcher, testing the dead bodies of monsters with various magical implements. That's cool. New magic. Skip ahead. Local theme park called Evermore. Oh my god, they went to Evermore. The puppeteered the Fae King. So yeah, so it seems like this is less influenced directly by Irish folklore and more, because Evermore's in Utah, isn't it? Anyway, they're influenced more by Fae like fantasy folklore. During the pandemic, things felt increasingly dire. I wrote up a new design called 1-800-Bestiary, blah, blah, blah. Again, Analog Horror, Gemini Home Entertainment, Local 58, the two things I'm already talking about. Let's see. Secondhand approach to storytelling. I don't really think that this had too much of a secondhand approach. I don't really think this is secondhand. That's a weird thing. I don't know if I agree with that, but Gemini Home Entertainment in particular became my favorite, more subdued approach to presenting its horrors so matter-of-factly, buried inside informational videos about mundane topics. Yep. Lunar Archives. Love affair with analog horror. It occurred to me at some point the genre would be perfect match for 1-800-Bestiary's gameplay. Lunar Archive, of course, that's going to be a huge reference to whatever it's called. Local 58, frequently channeling 90s era media formats. This is a very common thing in that. Home Safety Hotline. Strange things happen in your home. The answer was goblins. Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, it is very much like, I think we were right there of like, there was a lot of like outside in looking in at like Fae and Irish folklore. Inflatable trolls came from a mix of trolls and spriggans. Yep. It's kind of cool. Why do I do this to myself? When drawing monsters, frequently I find myself having to paint and try a monster to try to get certain poses to feel accurate. So, okay, so none of this was like AI. This is all just hand painted and then filtered. So that's cool. That's really sick. When you look at the art without the aggressive filtering on it, it's all zoomed in. You can tell that it's drawn, which is cool. Yeah, that was the Spriggan. I was right. Spriggan by far may be the hardest creature to spot. All throughout the development, I asked my playtesters to try and find it. No one's found it. Yeah, it's right here. I found it. I circled it. Bogging around. Boggart may be the most traditionally spooky creature I've designed for Home Safety Hotline. Okay, so this is, again, just all the bestiary stuff. Browse free use CCO photograph libraries. I use a lot of those too. Originally, the game over ending was pretty much simpler to the point. Carol firing the player and wiping their memory before sending them on their way. After the promotion ending was written, it was decided to come up with something a little more whimsical for the game over to better suit the world of HSH. Inspired by Roald Dahl's The Witches, we came up with the idea that Carol should turn the player into a mouse. Oh, that's cute. There's obviously a lot of craft work that went into the game. See, furry, star nose mole. Promotion crown. Faye Carol's makeup. In addition to playing the role of Carol, Courtney also designed the final makeup and costume look for Faye Carol in the game's ending cutscene depicting Carol in her truer, more ancient form. Courtney's own words, I want to look like a proper swamp witch. That's cool. Home Safety Hotline. Yeah, that's neat. That was a cool thing. This was a cool game. Horrible Goat Demon says, I think it's more like New Age Americanized view of Celtic folklore with the crystals and stuff. That makes sense. I do think that there is definitely an interesting kind of outside-in look at this. And I do think that this game, as an experiment in aesthetics, really ruled. This was a really cool, fun 3-hour experience, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. The creators of this game should be very proud of what they made. Very neat game. But yeah, I do think it leaves me a little bit wanting in the context of a analog horror experience. So there is that. That was a fun game.